Hold on. All right, so take two. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. You definitely could have been anywhere on a Friday night, especially a beautiful Friday night. We got some good weather, and you chose to be here to talk about property tax relief, which is very, very important to a lot of people here in Evanston and the state. So we've got some amazing special guests that will be sharing their work that they're doing here with the state. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Um, my name is Meleika Gardner, for those who don't know me. I've been doing community engagement for the past 10 years here in Evanston. I started with a platform called Evanston Live TV, and now it's transformed into Where the People Meet TV. And we discuss concerns and issues, and we celebrate Evanston. And I'm also a legislative advocate. I've worked on state legislation and education that I'm proud to say passed in 2021, and now working on something local right here for my home, Evanston, Illinois. I want to acknowledge our special guests here today. I feel so honored. We feel so honored to have them here. Um, David Morrison, he's the Deputy Assessor and Chief Policy Officer at the Cook County's Assessor Office. And this man has been an ally. He has been absolutely wonderful helping Alderperson Clare and I gather as much information as we possibly can to work on the initiative here in Evanston. And he's been sharing what they've been working on with the state. So we're actually working on similar programs. And we learned about the circuit breaker actually from Mr. David Morrison. So, really looking forward to you all hearing him. He's been amazing to Evanston. You all don't know that yet, but he has been really helping us out here, and we really, really appreciate him. And then we have Chesney Leafblad. Love that name, Chesney. She's a leading authority in property assessment and education, holding the highest certified Illinois assessing officer designation, Master. People actually call you Master?
I told my husband to, but he refused. I
Okay.
tried.
All right. As Director of Education for Cook County Board of Review District 2, she has been instrumental in developing ethics and professional standards in property assessment. Her work in education, outreach, and advocacy ensures that homeowners have access to the resources they need. So we are very, very honored to have you here, Chesney. Thank you so much. Uh,
Well, thank you for having me. And someone fluffed up what I sent you for my bio.
oh, okay. Okay, that's what I was saying. Okay. Well, when you come on, you can tell us more. We definitely want to hear more about your work here
Thank
in the
you.
Cook County and the state. And we have Tara Orris. She's joining us as well from. Hi, Tara. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tara. And Commissioner Samantha Steele, she's somewhere on the continent of Africa right now. So it's like 1 a.m. there. Um, so thank you so much, Samantha. I'm sure she'll see this video at a later date. She's worked with Clare Kelly on trying to help the business owners here in Evanston to lower their property tax and their rent, their commercial rental space. So she's been doing angel work here in Evanston as well. So enjoy wherever you are in Africa, Samantha. Enjoy, enjoy. So we're going to keep it moving here. I just wanted to give you guys somewhat of a little background of how this all came to be, just really brief, so we can get to our speakers today. Back during the pandemic, I was watching a city council meeting here in Evanston, and I saw two council members in a very heated debate on the dais. It was Council Member Peter Braithwaite of the Second Ward and Council Member Tom Suffredin of the Sixth Ward. And they were going to battle over Evanston property taxes. This is during the pandemic now. at the height of it. And Peter Braithwaite said, you cannot, change the system. We have to raise the property taxes no matter what. That's the system, and how dare you think you can come in here and change the system? That was his stance. Then Alderperson Tom Suffredin said, no, we're leaders. We're leaders. We have creative minds. We can put our heads together and come up with other ways to raise revenue where we do not burden our residents, especially during a crisis like a pandemic, which none of us had ever seen before in our lifetime. And they went head to head about that, um, and it stuck with me. That moment really stuck with me. Then on my platform, where the people meet TV, we had State Representative LaShawn K. Ford, and we had residents that came out and they were really concerned about being priced out of Evanston. And Rep. Ford said we needed to do something bold. We need to grandfather in the long-term residents and freeze their property taxes. That really got me thinking too, like, I don't know if we'll be able to grandfather in, but that might be a boxing a mountain to do that. But I'm sure that there's something else that we can do. And then, of course, started talking to Council Member Clare Kelly. And if any of you all watch the city council meetings, this woman is always going to bat against the system to stop the overspending, pointing out the overspending and how this puts a burden on the residents. And oftentimes the overspending ends up being a mistake, but who pays for it in the property taxes and the rent? The residents. And so she has been going to bat for the past several years in regards to property taxes, and she definitely helped. Tom Suffredin, Clare Kelly went to bat. Clare Kelly made sure we did not raise the property taxes the past 3 years, especially coming out of the pandemic. So um, she's a warrior, and I'm so happy to be working with her. It's something she's been working on all along. And so we put our heads together and reached out to Cook County, and we came up with the Evanston Property Tax and Rent Circuit Breaker program that would provide a percentage of relief to our long-term residents for their property tax and rent. Um, but we definitely have a fight on our hands. We really need to hear from the people. We held an event yesterday and we're holding one again today. It's all about hearing from the community. We've been hearing over the years about people being priced out. Evanston is becoming way too expensive. The property taxes are too high. But not everyone in city leadership agrees with that. I'm sure many of you have heard Alderperson Chrissy Harris over and over and over talk about we have to raise the property taxes. She's second ward, who she followed Peter Braithwaite, so she's following his philosophy on that. And she said, by any means necessary, even when it's not necessary to raise property taxes, she agrees you have to raise the property taxes every year. Um, so, when you're juggling that in your head, you're like, but on the one hand, we're concerned about people being priced out, and the focus is always on the Black community. It's not just the Black community being priced out. So if the heart is the Black community being priced out, one of the main reasons they're being priced out is the property taxes. The property taxes. So you all process that in your head in terms of leadership. It doesn't make sense to me. So tonight is all about finding solutions. And it takes some people to put their heads together to find those solutions. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Council Member Clare Kelly, and she'll take it from here. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you, Meleika, and thank you for hosting this, and thank you, Chesney and David, for being here, and Tara. So absolutely. So our property taxes are high. This is a very coveted neck of the woods where the land is worth lots. So so you might be told, well, our taxes aren't that high because it really represents a small percentage relative to the value of the land. But many of us have lived here for a long time. We're not looking necessarily, we'd like to not necessarily sell our home and we'd like to remain here, but the taxes have escalated to a point where we have seen displacement, we've seen an exodus. Much of our diversity has been undermined as a result of the high cost of living. And as Meleika pointed out, it really is these pots, these budgets that we just have to pay for. And the bigger the budgets are, all the budgets, the school budgets, the city's budget, the county budget, that all has to get paid for by all of us. And it really has become expensive. So looking at some ways to actually address this so people can stay in their homes and age in place and not be forced out, one solution is what they call a property tax circuit breaker program. And we're also extending this so that it could help offset rent as well. And this is the idea that, whatever your taxes are, that they would be reduced by a certain percent. We are still waiting on all the data in terms of Evanston, in terms of the percent of long-term residents. Thank you. David Morrison's helped us gather some of that to figure out just how many folks we have in our city over the years, what it's looked like in terms of the percent of people that live here who are long-term. And right now we've said 20 years, that's sort of the mark we've put, but that might change as we get the fine details ironed out of this program. But the idea is that if you've lived here for, say, 20 years and the cost of living for you is really burdensome to live here, say you're paying over 30% or 40% of your income towards your housing costs, then ideally you would qualify for this program. And that's what we're trying to work on. And we have, Meleika and I have 3 other council members who have signed on as co-refers to this program. Council Member Tom Suffredin, Council Member Ravel, and Council Member Devon Reed. So we have 4 council members supporting this. And we're looking forward to really devising this program. This would be a program that will have impact. It's not, to be able to offset the cost directly of someone's property tax bill, say by 20%, and again, that percent will be determined as we get all the final numbers in so we can get an idea as to how much funding we're going to need for this. But this is something that we can directly do immediately in the near future, as opposed to something that's conceptual that may or may not play out, such as zoning. This is something there's a lot of measures we can take right now, and this is one.